It's been a little while. In fact, I think it's the first time this year Counsellor Craig has joined me on the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lizzie. How are you?
Good. Nice to catch up with you again. Now, I want to dive straight into it because you know so much about so much and we've only got a certain amount of time to talk about it. But today we're talking about healthy friendships, and I said to you, is this friendships or relationships? And you said they're the same thing. But something that interests me just off air as we were chatting, you were mentioning that friendships these days that people have, say, compared to our parents, for those of us who may be middle-aged who are in the audience or listening, what is the difference between the friendships that you sort of see?
Well, the obvious thing for me is technology and how much technology has intervened in friendships' life in a way of, connection, really. And the reliance on that, like if I use me, because I'm always kind of like the best example to use, like I'm not really much on Facebook.
You're not.
And not really. My whole family can create events, have events that I don't even know about unless I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
My parents, and this would probably be something you might attest to, every time they meet with friends and family, they would get the calendar out,
Yeah.
make a date,
Mm.
and work towards that date. And it seems like we are so much more connected, but more anxious about missing a call, missing a message, kind of like, am I invited? Am I not? All these kind of things contribute to how we understand friendships today. And, if social media goes down or I can't call someone or I've missed a call, there's just this anxiety that kind of just starts to kind of like heat up within.
Wow.
And when that anxiety, I have my anxiety, you maybe have yours, but I know what this little flutter of heart means when I feel like I'm missing out.
Gee, I never really thought about that. Yeah. Do you know what?
Mm,
I miss the old-fashioned days. The
mm.
phone would ring. You would pick it up or you wouldn't. You would make a plan. People would turn up spontaneously. Remember that? You
Just knock on the door and
you
say
just
we're here.
walk around the corner. You were driving past. Hey, we were just in the neighbourhood. I kind of liked all that. Now all this, book it in, Facebook group, chitter chatter. But
Yeah, I'm not critiquing. Like I just noticing that things are different about
yeah,
friendships.
yeah. So what's a sign of a healthy friendship then? Moving
Oh,
away.
that's always a good question. I measure it by vulnerability and authenticity.
Yes. So you're
Mm,
saying I can be honest with you, I can be
mm,
open, I can be real.
mm. Which then connects for me is that you don't need a lot of friends, but good friends that you can be honest with. I like having lots of friends
Yeah. Growing
because it's good
up,
for the soul.
I had lots of friends. I mean, I am someone who I feel that I could talk to, I could find something to talk to anybody about anything. But it doesn't mean
Yeah,
that they're in my inner circle, you know what I mean? But I used to have
yeah.
this thing where I used to try and keep up with too many people. I don't do that now. I don't have the time, the energy, but I also recognize it's taken me a long time to work this out that
Hmm.
yeah, I need that two-way street. I need a
Hmm.
friendship that's actually growing and alive. Is that
Yeah,
fair?
yeah, yeah. And pushing into, man, what if we have conflict? What if we disagree? That's sometimes a sign of, oh, okay, maybe we're not meant to be friends. And I go, no, actually, that's a really good opportunity to kind of push into what is the conflict about? And we aren't going to agree on everything. That's just the way we are. So, and I take it back, the way that we are wired, the way that God has created us for is for connection, is
Mm.
for relationship with ourselves and others. But sometimes we just struggle with good friendships. And the older we get, the friendships kind of drift away,
Yeah.
or lots of reasons why that happens.
You move.
Yeah, illness.
Yeah. Different life priorities. I mean, I know for
Mm.
me, I've got a group of mum friends that some of us met when our kids were about 2 or 3. This year, they're all 22. Um,
Where
and
did that go?
where did that go? And some of those people I still see sometimes. We catch up a couple of times a year. It's not like they're the closest friends, but we went through a lot together in a season of time, and I still like to have that connection. But it's fair and valid, don't you think, to do a friendship audit and actually look at the health of your friendships? And, because sometimes you're staying connected to somebody out of a sense of obligation or just because you've known each other for years, but the friendship can be really perhaps dragging you down. You don't feel seen and heard by the person, or maybe you've had a whole lot of personal growth in your life and they're somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay, isn't it? You can have goodwill towards each other, but you just don't have to always be that connected to people.
No, I really appreciate what you're saying. The something that I've learned recently is really easy to remember. Who are the people that I'm with that expands me? Who are the people that I'm with that contracts me?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, say that again.
Who are the people that I'm with that expands me? Who are the people that I'm with that contracts me? And it's just kind of a felt sense. You kind of a head knowledge, but you feel it.
You do feel it. And I've had that myself where, some people I can just be totally myself, which is usually quite expressive. And then others almost feel like I'm in a straitjacket, I can't breathe. There's a tightness in my chest kind of thing, not anxiety, but this is telling me something, right? This is telling me about something about how I'm in this relationship, this friendship. And am I able to be myself here? And if I'm not, then how is it? I mean, I was just going to complicate the issue because obviously we have family and we're not, and we're not so much talking about that today, really. I think that's another topic. But in terms of friends, right, and the people that we get to choose who we spend time with. Yeah. It's important.
And a big caveat here, this is not about self-interest, not about narcissism, not about me. This is about, you can walk into a room and you can very early on pick out, man, that's a really interesting person, or I'm going to stay away from that person. And you can just get a sense of, like, within yourself, where do I grow? Where do I feel smaller?
Yeah.
And this is about me. So what is it about me that is kind of assessing this situation, this friendship?
Now, I'm putting you on the spot because, most of the audience will be people of faith and they go, oh, well, I'm a Christian. I should just get on with everyone. What would you say to that?
Not possible. Not possible. I mean, even Jesus had to kind of leave the disciples when he wanted to be with his Father and said, I'm going to quote scripture here very badly. He said, look, guys, you're doing my head in. I'm going to be with my Father.
Yeah, I'm off to see Dad.
Don't follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some space.
Yes. And
healthy boundaries, right?
All helps. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. But you're right. Like I tell you, just in closing, next week I won't be here, and I am going up north to see one of my absolute best friends. This year we're celebrating 40 years of friendship.
Amazing.
In our younger days, we were in London together. We saw lots of music. We travelled around Europe in a van with some other friends. For many years, her and her partner were living in Australia, and they'd come home once a year. And they were there for 16 years, but there'd always still been this connection. And, the other day she rang up and she said, I'm going to be working a bit when you're here. And I go, look, you don't need to entertain me. I said, you and I are like family, right? Like, I just slot in and do whatever. I have no expectation. I'm just happy to be with you. And I'm literally so excited to see her because we have lots of funny memories. We like lots of the same food, music, just walking. I mean, her partner, he'll probably get a bit tired of the sound of our voices yakking on. But, like, that is a friendship in my life that I just treasure, just absolutely treasure. And I feel so blessed that we've had experiences across the world together, and she's back in this part of the world and, I get to go and stay with her, and she's a really good cook too.
I think that's the measure of a great friendship, is when
good cooks.
It could be years. Well, good cooks is helpful, but when you can be time-wise years apart, or just not see each other for a long time, or kind of like, and just slot right in. You don't have to play the catch-up.
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air, isn't it? So those are the friendships in our lives that we want to put our energy into and to nurture.
Mm.
And as you said, not possible to be friends with everyone. You can be nice, but you're not necessarily going to have them in your friendship circle.
No, your nervous system won't cope.
Amen to that. Counsellor
Yep.
Craig, so good to see you again. Thanks for joining
You
us today
too.
to talk about
You're
healthy friendships.
very welcome, Lizzie. Thanks for that.